I am the Masquerade Man, and you are in the media ballroom. Today we're going to discuss wacky tobacco. I really have no way of introducing this topic today, so let's just jump right into it, yeah? There's a little theory that I've come up with. Now when it comes to Christians, yes, marijuana is a bit of a problem. It doesn't matter what medical facts that you throw at them. It doesn't matter what scientifical studies that you have shown them. Anyways, my mum and I were discussing cannabis on religious aspects. I'm still trying to convince her, yeah? And what it almost always comes down to when you're trying to talk to the Christians is they say, "Oh, well, all that may be true, but the high is still a sin." And I was thinking to myself, well, is it truly wrong to seek out the high? Medical benefits and everything else aside, you really have to think about what the high essentially is. In drinking alcohol, you become intoxicated and unable to process like you normally would, which is considered a sin in biblical terms. But I was thinking about the difference between high and drunk in spiritual aspects. Think about sex in marriage. It is encouraged by God. And obviously, other than the spiritual binding purposes and productions of babies, it is sought out for the pleasure. Yeah. And when you have so much dopamine coursing through your brain during the act of sex, the feeling is so euphoric you obviously can't process things you normally would be able to process if you weren't having sex. So there can't be anything wrong with euphoria religiously, since it is a part of sex, is seeked out through the act of sex, and sex being an encouraged act in marriage. So now you have two things to look at and consider when saying high is a sin. Euphoria and intoxication. Euphoria is something that is entirely natural. A state of happiness that is so high, your brain is too into it to process much of anything else. Intoxication is something that is unnatural. When taking alcohol or other Schedule I drugs, you are creating an unnatural state of pleasure and or mind alteration. This is what separates man-made sin from God-given pleasure. Now some of you are reading and thinking, oh, and pot isn't intoxication? Well, no, it isn't. Simply because when you look at our bodies on the inside and study it, you will find that we have cannabinoid receptors in our brains. Whether you like to believe it or not, it's there. We even create a natural form of THC, that's what gets you high, in our cells, called anandamide. It's just another step showing we are meant and built to take cannabis. And so, when you look at the cannabinoid receptors and the processes they create, you will see it controls a major part of our natural state of happiness. We create in ourselves a form of what cannabis gives to us naturally. And the plant itself, cannabis, is entirely natural as well. When you look at the science, you will see that cannabis creates an entirely natural euphoria. Simply, naturally, raising our state of happiness to such a high level, just as sex would, yeah? So what I have discovered for myself today is that there is a possibility that the high you get from cannabis, which only lasts an hour and a half anyway, is quite possibly something that isn't hated by God, but instead meant to be had. A gift that has been given to us, just as sex was. And not only do we receive the gift of the high, we get the extreme economical, medical, physical, psychological, industrial, and spiritual benefits that come along with it. Have I completely lost my mind? Or did everything I say just make sense? I am the Masquerade Man, and this has been pleasant.